Hello to the Foundation Infrastructure Working Group meeting on 26th of June. So we have the usual agenda to check the PRs, promotions, talk about any other business. So I see people in the call more than usual. Most probably you have topics. But I think we can first check the PRs and then discuss the rest more.
Yep.
Okay, start with ones waiting for March. Sorry, I have here this Zoom window. So remote RF pops. So actually Aram had some thoughts on this last time we discussed it, and he put a comment after that. This has been accepted by Long. I think the comments provided by, or the questions provided by Aram are relevant. Hi Aram, you are already in the call.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, we just started with the meeting and the first PR waiting for March is this feature allow remote RF pops. And I remember we
correct to change the state, like if Aram could put in a review to request changes, right? Because I think there's valid points in that comment.
Yeah.
Does not reflect, like, I think the author doesn't understand that that's like a requirement to address that comment, right? So basically it needs to be in a request changes state.
That's okay. I think I'm a little daunted by the fact that there's like a sort of fundamental like this is fundamentally 2 or 3 different problems that are being conflated, and they're not all really being addressed, and I'm not quite sure where this belongs in the code. I mean, the short version is the code doesn't satisfy either of those 2 use cases. It just sort of jams in the ability to like pull down blobs from a website, but doesn't really fit in the blobs workflow that Bosch has in terms of, like, you know, syncing blobs, checking blobs, uploading to the blob store, validating them. It feels like a sort of it feels like jamming I want to download my blobs from the internet into Bosch's blob store like lifecycle, which is possible, but not necessarily a good idea, nor does it like fit with the rest of how the blob store tends to operate. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm happy to attach this comment somewhere, but the comment applies to the entire PR, not to a particular part of the code base. Like
when you put in a review, you don't have to do line numbers. You can just do one comment and request changes. So it's like,
okay, yeah, I'm not quite sure what changes I would request. It's like it's an entire kind of
the change.
re-architecting.
Yeah, it's basically architect, but I think currently it looks like there's 2 reviews. There are 2 reviews, so and they are like green check marks. So it's like we can just merge, but I don't feel like that's correct, right? Like
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I can just drop it in a review. I can take that comment and put it in a review.
Yeah, like we basically want something there to be a blocker, because that's, I think, more correct.
Okay, that's totally fair.
Okay, I changed the state to waiting for changes.
I can do that after I move the comment if you want. And also, like, I'm willing to take feedback from all y'all if you think there's a good way to make this for this code to like veer to a place where it actually does make sense, but right now I can't like quite get my head around the changes as they are like fitting well within the Bosch blobs lifecycle.
Yeah, I agree, right? Like this, I think it was discussed at some point that this should be something where it can verify, like it should be about tracking upstream, right? And being able to verify the SHA-SUM of an upstream URL with the SHA-SUM that we record, right? And then there's the I think that's the base, the first piece of functionality that could be added, and then a second one could be not having, like making the blob store cache optional.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's basically it, right? The blob store that we have is basically a cache, and if you want, you could do without. But yeah, like that needs to be then addressed in every part of the workflow, right? Like
Yeah.
washing blobs and everything should all be aware of that particular use case.
Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and update that comment, move the comment into the review.
Okay. Okay, the next one, multi-director gallery support for Bosch Asia CPI. So this is an improvement for the functionality which has been introduced for gallery image consumption. Looks like to be able to share one compute gallery with multiple directors. There's only one approval, but most probably we need another one because it's a larger change, I would say. Or what is your opinion on this, Felix?
Yes, yeah, I think it could also get a second review.
Okay, let change. Okay. Anything to mention about this PR? Do you have more context?
Not so much. I just remember that we enabled it once on a landscape, and it caused issues when Bosch tried to, when Bosch tried to upload a stem cell that had already been uploaded for the create end command, and that would lead to conflicts. So this PR basically also tries to resolve this issue so that it checks before it uploads the stem cell, does the stem cell already exist in the compute gallery? And if so, it does not perform the upload again.
So currently,
Is that what that's not the PR we're looking at here?
No, there was the one before.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
I just added people for review and putting the yeah.
Hey
so
guys.
this is hi Ramon. So this is an update to the used open containers LANC packages. Should we just merge this? Just an update. Aram, you reviewed already.
Yeah, this seems like a straight replacement for the Go library. I'm not super concerned about it as long as it's linting and compiling. That seems great.
Yeah. That's why I also thought to just go that path. So we talked about the blob store. Here we had, I think, the failing. No, that's it. So we are waiting for review here. Direct protocol. It looks like we are waiting for review here still. We have only one review and it's in discussions. Yeah. From Rajat. Okay.
Aram, you ping him about this one?
Yeah, I can ping folks.
I already pinged in the PR itself, but
Yeah, but I was like thinking about more about stand up or something.
Yeah. I think, this is still failing on Windows and I haven't gotten a good, I haven't had time to work on this, so this is still needs changes, but I will, once I fix that, I'll go ahead and merge it because I think it's got approvals.
Yeah. Okay. We have two approvals on this, so it should be good.
The unit tests were failing on that one. I fixed that yesterday. So it should be fine now to merge. There was a small syntax issue with the example expectation of what should come out in the thing, and that's fixed now.
Anything against merging this?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry?
No objections. Go ahead.
Wasn't sure what was that. Some noise and okay. This is done. We talked about this. We requested a change, I think, here. So Ahmed, you're in the call. Basically, this is about not replacing the existing documentation, but add additional information, add extra docs.
All right. Yeah, well, I can take a look again and add it.
Yeah, we commented through.
Yeah, I was on. I did not have time to check it. I will do it. Okay. So I should add it as an additional attribute, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
This is okay. This is most probably something AI initiate. Windows is so annoying. So Ruben, this is still waiting for changes you requested, the C group V2 for the Docker CPI.
Yeah, I mean, that was just way too big of a PR, and there was so much stuff that felt AI generated that, I mean, there's nothing against AI generated, I think, in essence, but it felt unguided, right? Like you need strong guidance, and it was missing, and it feels like if you're not, some pieces felt like they were not even reviewed by the author, and that's a bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
Like in general, I feel this should have been multiple PRs, right? Like, because why make all sorts of changes to make files? I mean, like, put it in a separate PR, then we can talk about the need for it, not have that included in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, then let's wait what happens here. This one we talked about, then inbox. This is
Yeah, this is part more or less of this bigger RFC we created some time ago. I see it's not linked here. I should do that. Basically, this PR is backward compatible, so it only should introduce a new feature to assign, as a description mentions, to assign like prefix addresses to VMs instead of only single IP addresses.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just talking about it. The last time was that we would create a summary issue. Unfortunately, we didn't quite manage before this meeting to just tie together all of the different PRs and the rationale for them and so on. So we'll still do that, but if somebody wants to look at this, each of the PRs have descriptions already. So if you wanted to have a look already, that would be great. Otherwise, we should be able to create this summary issue that describes everything in one go in the next couple of days, I hope.
Yeah. Okay, this is so to say ready for review.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the description that I'm mentioning is to help the reviewer understand what is actually going on in the whole context, kind of.
If you scroll a bit to the bottom, there is this enable push. So this open issue, I guess this one you can reference. So the first one, no, this is closed. The third one, this is the issue which collects the story a bit. Maybe we can improve the description, but yeah, this will give you an idea about what this topic is about.
Yeah. Okay, we have two reviewers. Aram,
I think Ansh
Ruben.
added us manually. So, but of course, I guess you can add also more Aram and others.
Yeah. Do you want to look into this, someone from your side?
Is there going to be an integration test for this? For IPv6 in general, on a, like for the CPI?
So in general, we would like also to enhance the acceptance test, for example, and more. So there will be more and more pieces to come.
Yeah, okay, that will be future. Yeah, because this is like, it's quite an abstract change, and it's hard to reason or test, right? Like it's so an acceptance test would help with that, because that gives a bit more confidence in, like, yeah, we can check the syntax and everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we plan to
enhance that.
We also know that it actually does the thing, or makes
Yeah, we're
something
currently
happen.
working on those. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so maybe we want to think about ordering there, right? Like maybe get the acceptance test in first. Or yeah, I mean, ideally together, right? Because then it can go green, I guess.
Yeah. Is there a way for that acceptance test to go in one of the conformance suites for Bosch? And I'm sorry, but the acronyms fail me. The BATS or the CPI conformance or something.
Yeah, BATS.
So if the GCP CPI also supports it, then we can finally enable the IPv6 for the BATS test. On the,
do we have a BATS IPv6 suite?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, maybe we just yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we just feature flag that and then enable it where when we can, rather than not enabling it anywhere, just make it so that that's part of the BATS config that gets passed in from the CPI.
Yeah. So I think what we're looking at here is maybe have a concourse job in the Bosch AWS CPI pipeline that's non-blocking, right? But it has IPv6 enabled. And then we can have that fail, and then over time, if all these things are in, we can have that go green.
I mean, this is not about enabling IPv6, but having it multi-stack or dual stack. So to have it assigning both. So I think we should already have one for IPv6 only.
Okay.
So what we are now doing is basically having it dual stack, and this PR more specifically is for assigning prefixes, which was anyway hard-coded for IPv4. Now it is configurable, but still AWS actually can only support one prefix. So you would not also see a difference, but I think here it's more important that it's configurable, and the way the director writes the prefixes into the database is a bit different rather than this integer. Now it's more accurate the way it's written. So I think the acceptance test is something that we have already planned ahead, and but this should not stop the review itself. So I mean, we can change the order we merge the stuff, but yeah, feel free to review still the logic here.
And also, so far we're not supporting GCP. It's only AWS because that's just the first step. GCP will eventually come, but we don't have an exact timeline for that yet.
And right now we are already using it internally in SAP. We are testing it out. So yeah, a good a review would help that to make sure that we are also no surprises coming later when we try to merge it if someone has a different idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I tried to assign other people. Feel free to assign again, Ahmed and Felix.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I couldn't reassign without removing you.
Yeah.
Okay. This is also in IPv6 bucket. So this is now ongoing review. There are some discussions. Felix, is everything addressed what been requested here to change?
Yeah, there was one change from Aram. However, we were not quite too sure how to implement that. I don't know if Aram had already replied. Maybe I missed that. But besides that, yeah, it's ready for review, for further review, I would say.
You mean this the comment here, or?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that I've seen that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then this is
okay. Yeah, we don't need to block on me. I do yeah,
discussion.
that discussion makes sense. I get a little like I don't love the idea that we're representing IP version with a Boolean. And I understand that the code isn't necessarily in a shape that makes not doing that possible. So,
Yeah, we can for sure apply that.
But you have some suggestions here, Felix, or questions?
So this was in part referring to the first part of Aram's comment, where where he suggested to have both settings, I think IPv4 and IPv6 information for the Bosch settings network. So to return basically information from both commands, IPR and IP-6R, because for now we're just returning depending on what the network type, I call it, is that comes in. We're just returning either IPR or either IP-6R. And in case, so Bosch structures these networks, you can only have IPv4 or an IPv6 network. It's not like you can have a dual stack network by itself. So if you want to apply dual stack, you would have to add two networks, one IPv4 and one IPv6. That's why we have it implemented like this. So we could keep most of the other coding, like how the regex scans the routes and everything the same, by not mixing those together. And as mentioned, as Bosch already differentiate between these networks, it might also not make so much sense to return all routes information.
That makes this explanation makes sense to me. It's fine to resolve this.
Okay. Okay, I created a PR about switching to a cheaper GCP region for stem cell build at least. Basically moving from Europe West to Europe North to Sweden, as we discussed last time. It looks like at least that there we are using one N1 standard 2 instance type, which could be not available in that region. I wasn't quite sure. This the documentation states that it's not available. Maybe it's auto sync the docs. So can this just be applied and or we need to destroy the current deployment of director and redeploy? How is it?
No, this should be picked up by the because we recreate every time a new one. So
okay, then I just assign someone else to check.
The only thing that's going to be harder is is moving concourse itself.
Okay.
As I don't think you can move just simply move if you just assign the region from moving the database from one region to another region, or contact from one region to another region. Not sure how that works.
Yeah, this is just first to look into moving to a cheaper region with our ephemeral deployments, and then we can investigate the more effort. Requiring more effort. The parts which require more effort. I wanted also to understand which builds generate which costs. It is not possible at the moment from the ternary tool to get this. Maybe if you have a little bit time, Ramon, tomorrow we can chat about this.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. if you have, I will reach out to you.
Okay.
Okay, this is all I need to leave. There is also the promotion stuff. If someone can take over.
Yeah, I can take over.
I think this one we can just merge. We already waited 2 weeks. Yeah, and one needs to review. And, I can also review. No, I can. Yeah, okay, then I need to leave. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Okay.
Bye,
See ya.
Beyhan.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's my Zoom window? I have no buttons. I'm not signed in. This is great. Oh, I can share. Oh, need to go through rejoin and do setting stuff. Quit and reopen. I need to rejoin the meeting, otherwise I cannot share.
Yo.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Ik niet in ieder geval.
Oh, sorry. Should just never update my machine. Everything is broken afterwards. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Ja.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's
Sorry,
continue then. Okay, so let's see. This was not what we were looking at. Promotions. Why is this one in promotions? Shouldn't be in promotions. I merged the other one with the inactive users. We did this. We still have to go over this one, right?
Think it?
Yes, we didn't go over it yet. It basically is one of the fix allocation PRs. I'd say this is the biggest one. Yeah, and the most sensitive, I would call it.
I like this. Looks good. Nice. Okay. Do you want to provide more context, or are we just gonna assign people? I mean,
I
there's
think
already a lot of description, so I think
I try to describe it here. I will try to fix the unit test as one failing, not locally, but once I push, that I will fix. And besides that, yeah, as already mentioned, so this is basically enabling the director to allocate prefix addresses as well. There are some limitations to these networks then once they are assigned. For example, for now, we configured it like that it requires at least one normal network with a single IP address, and this can be allocated like additionally. There's one limitation. There are more. For now, it's only for network types manual, not for dynamic or VIP. Yeah.
From a UX point of view, right, like a prefix. Yeah, so you're gonna get one prefix for a Diego, so right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
for every deployment that basically refers to a network that has a prefix in its manifest will get a prefix address. Exactly. And you can define the size of the prefix. For now, here, these examples are /80 or for IPv6 or /28 for IPv4 because AWS only supports those. Yeah, but theoretically, the code is designed to handle any prefix size and as well for both IPv4 and IPv6.
Yeah, I'm just thinking through the UX, like how like in a real life scenario, how many are gonna be assigned to a single VM?
So for our use case, I think it would be 3, one IPv4, one IPv6 single, and one IPv6 prefix address.
Yeah.
The AWS CPI was only able to assign single IP addresses before we had this PR that we saw earlier. So at most you would have been seeing 2 for AWS, and now the most is 4.
Yeah.
That's what the CPI limits. Theoretically, yeah, if the CPI would could apply those more prefixes, then theoretically you could have unlimited IP address here, I would guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part we were also thinking about if it's nice to show the IPs here, like the prefix IPs, or if we should do another like field or another column or something like that. But for now, we thought, yeah, it's somehow attached to this VM as well, these prefixes. So yeah, we also show it here to have it.
Yeah, I'm just
To not
annoyed
change
by
too much because most people probably also will not use this feature for now, at least, maybe later. But yeah,
And
that's why we
there's
thought most people won't even recognize the change. Yeah.
I'm
there's
just
probably some
annoyed.
scripts there's probably some scripts that's going to fail for some people that just need to be aware of this if they scrape this IP.
Yeah, but if they don't use prefixes, it should still work because then nothing changes. So we only return prefix if there is a specific prefix there, it's like not for a single IP address. So it should be backward compatible.
I'm like, this is a nitpick, but it's annoying. The sorting is inconsistent.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Is that something we control, or is it random? Is that like a Golang sorting issue, or is that how it's returned from the director?
I have not looked into this. I think it's just how it's returned from the director, but we could look into the sorting. I agree.
Yeah, because
on that,
like
yeah.
this, it took me a while to parse this. It's like what's going on, right? Because it's like ideally you want IPv4 address, IPv4 prefix, IPv6 address, IPv6 prefix, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then consistent sorting that would make it easier on the eyes.
Yeah, that should be an easy change.
It's just a small UX thing, but that
that's a good point.
Yeah.
And as mentioned here as well, the acceptance tests are still in progress. Yeah.
But I really like this. It's going in a good direction. Is Nitin still doing stuff, or should we take him out of the rotation?
We should probably take him out of the rotation. I don't believe that he is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Or Cloud Foundry Teams, something like that. No, that's not
Wrong
us.
one.
That's not definitely not us. Approvers, that's the one. And then we have settings, and then we can go to settings, and we have code reviews, and then we have the members who are selected that are never gonna get assigned. Is
Is
Matthias
back again?
Is he back already?
I don't know.
No,
he
he's
switched
not.
teams.
Yeah, he went to a different topic.
Okay. We were talking about Nitin. Okay. Anybody else that you should take out?
Nader.
Nader as well?
Nader, yeah.
Hmm.
It was part of the Toronto office that was closed.
Okay. The other people are still, the new people are still working their rank to get the reviews in, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's a suggestion. Recently
Oh, Copilot.
edited.
I have no idea how any of this works. Don't put me on there.
You touched files, GitHub says.
In Bosch.
From Impartial at some
I
point.
just reformatted them. I have no idea how it works.
You should not do that. Like GitHub will start suggest you as a knowledgeable person. Okay, it doesn't want to do the thing. Now I need to pick someone.
Might work if you reload the page or something. Maybe the JavaScript is angry.
Okay, and assign, reload. That's how it worked, right? Reload, yes, and then. Oh wait, I need to do both, right? And that's the approvers one that actually does the thing. Ooh, it did it. But actually, I think probably Beyhan and I should also probably look at it, or one of us. Something like that. Not everybody has to do the review, but let's see what we get. Okay. And this one is now in pending review. And actually, because Beyhan cannot do it, I will just assign Copilot. And let's see what it does. Onto issues.
That is probably corresponds to the PR we saw earlier.
Yeah, we have the PR already, right? So this is basically an open for contribution or actually prioritized. Right. This is great. Like this should be a PR, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You already figured it out.
Open for contribution. Or I can code with Copilot agent mode and just do the work, I guess. Or I have Copilot do it. And this, I think we also talked about. No, but this is this the overarching issue?
Yeah, exactly. So you can say it's pending commercial. I don't know.
No, it's prioritized.
Why-
It's being worked on. That one.
Which is pending version.
Which is pending work. Yes. Yeah, it's a great system. That they have states that are shared between PRs and issues. Okay, what was the last date that we looked at issues?
Think so.
19th, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh no, this is June. This is not July. June. Then I think we're done, right? There's nothing else from July that was recently touched. Okay. Thank you all for attending.
Thank
Well
you.
done, Ruben.
Enjoy your evening.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.